What's going down, people? How you doing? TK coming at you. Just wanted to break down a more detailed explanation on the step-by-step process for those people interested in joining me in Bitcoin success. So, step one to the process basically involves you using dollar cost averaging, dollar cost converting to convert fiat currency from paper to Bitcoin, okay? And the process involves you going to your favorite exchange, setting up your credit card or your bank account, and then converting money consistently whenever you have money to convert. I do it every payday. Convert as much as you can. Doesn't matter the amount, because you have a choice to make. You can decide on less than 1% in a bank account, or you can get 5,000% in Bitcoin accruals. So I know that's a tough choice. 5,000, less than 1%. But that should be your motivation in terms of converting a currency from one format to another format. So you don't always have to use an exchange, or the exchange from one format to the other doesn't have to solely be with the company. You can also go to your local Bitcoin meetup. Use Google to find if there's a meetup in your area. And if there's not a local Bitcoin meetup, create one. You know, people who are interested in the space that get together and help each other. So an exchange can be from one wallet to another wallet, where you simply download your Bitcoin favorite wallet, give the other person your Bitcoin address, which is equivalent to an email address, or akin to an email address, and of course have them send you Bitcoin to your wallet, or have your QR code come up within your wallet and they just scan it, and of course transfer from their wallet to your wallet, and then you give them PayPal, or you give them cash equivalent, or whatever you guys work out in terms of two people doing an exchange. So the first method includes you accumulating coins either from another person or from a company, and then you converting paper money into Bitcoin, or paper currency into Bitcoin. So that pretty much covers step one. And you typically win, okay? You typically win when you convert, because the amount that you earn when you become your own bank is a lot higher than the amount that you make when you are working with a third-party counterbank. Okay? So think about that. Think about getting started and implementing these steps for yourself. So what I do for me, and I just encourage other people to do the same thing. Okay, so step two in the process, now that you have acquired some coins, the next step is to establish an income in Bitcoin. Now, to me, this is the most important step. This is really what I focus on, and this is what I make one of my primary tasks. Because what you have to understand is that when you establish an income in Bitcoin, it becomes your foundation. And when Bitcoin goes up in value, you're happy, because your income goes up in value. And you didn't do anything extra to get that boost, okay? So it's very important. And then the other thing that's important about this step is that it transforms you, and it is very empowering because of the fact that eventually your Bitcoin income begins to catch up with your income at work. Your passive residual income begins to catch up with your linear income on your job. And that's why I say this step is very empowering, and it's an important step in establishing Bitcoin success. So all you have to do is go to your favorite mining company. I use Swissquote Global. In addition, I have 2 others. But primarily, go to your favorite mining company, okay, and establish mining contracts. Now, in a mining contract, what you're doing is you're paying a company to lease space on a computer rig or a mining rig that's designed to do the computational work behind Bitcoin. So mining is the primary backup to Bitcoin that verifies and solidifies the network. And you are going to pay to offset that company's power and operational expenses. And they in turn send you coins to your wallet every single day. Okay? So the more mining power that you have, the more coins that you possibly can generate. Alright? So you want to do 2 things. You want to be consistent about always adding new mining contracts. And you want, most importantly, to compound the mining results. In other words, the coins that you receive in your wallet. What I do for myself is when those coins add up to enough to buy a new contract, I buy a new contract. Pay for with the coins that I received from my initial mining results from the first contract. And every contract builds on the previous, so it's a ladder that grows your income to any level that you feel you want to get to. Now you can go to Google, use mining calculators to figure out, based on how much hash power that you pay for, what it's going to equal in daily pay. So my personal mining goal right now is to get to 100 terahash per second in Bitcoin mining. So I'll get there sooner than later because I always add new contracts. Each contract adds on the previous contract, and then cumulatively they all add up to 100 terahash per second. And guess what? That will put me on another level within my 3-step system. Okay? So that pretty much covers mining and why mining is important and why you should set it up. When you first start, get in where you fit in. Buy a contract that you can afford and keep building on those contracts. The smartest thing you can do is compound your returns by putting the coins you receive from your or in your wallet back into a new mining contract whenever it adds up to enough to pay for a new contract. And if you are consistent and you build that way, your income will continuously go up with the value of Bitcoin and with the value of the new contracts that you keep adding. Okay? So that is step 2. Now step 3 is a graduation point. Because once you have achieved a certain income in Bitcoin and you have a certain amount of coins on standby, now what you do is you take those coins and you invest them in a company that's going to multiply those Bitcoins. Okay? So the 3rd step in the process is the graduation point where now you make Bitcoin work for you. You make Bitcoin get a job multiplying and working smart for you to bring you back more Bitcoin. Okay? And in this step, I call it the Bitcoin investment banking platform because you are multiplying your Bitcoin with a company that basically trades on your behalf within arbitrage, gives you the difference every single day, and then every single week you're able to utilize that. Now right now my Bitcoin investment banking platform pays me about 0.20 Bitcoin every single week, and that's been over the past year. So of course my goal for next year is to take that to the next level and increase the amount of weekly income that I get in Bitcoin from my banking platform. All right. So step 3 in the process is to trade Bitcoin so that it works smart for you and multiplies the amount of Bitcoin that you receive back. And there are 2 different companies that I work with in terms of allowing me to do that. But step 3 is the graduation point where Bitcoin gets a job and starts working for you. So that's the final step, the final frontier. But anyway, if you combine all 3 processes together, you're looking at where I'm at right now, where my Bitcoin income is catching up with my salary at work. And I make $75,000 at work. So the powerful point about having this equivalent in Bitcoin income is because my salary at work doesn't increase. My salary at work stays the same, if not goes down. And my Bitcoin income, not only does it increase, it's a separate freaking salary outside of fucking job. And I'm stressing that for a reason. So if you're making $75,000 at work and your Bitcoin income is catching up to your work income, and it has nothing to do with a bank, has nothing to do with a job, it's completely separate, autonomous, open source, worldwide. That's empowering. That's financial freedom. That's the life of abundance that you need to step into. That's what you need to take serious, get into, and really go ham. And that's what I try to pass on to you guys. I try to pass on to you guys the empowerment point where you are changing your life financially and you're stepping into abundance and able to open some financial doors that's never been open to you before. Bitcoin has been pretty much my income for the past 3 months on a consistent basis. Bitcoin is paid for investments. It's paid for land. It's paid for freaking Christmas. When you become your own bank, you can leverage against money that you're earning, so you can borrow against excuse me, you can borrow against yourself and win, because there's no usury. When you're borrowing against your own bank, there's no usury. So hopefully you guys take this serious. I've been saying the same thing online, on YouTube and Facebook for 3 years. And people dismiss, but it doesn't matter. Because my own advice I use for myself and it works. In other words, I have achieved an income in Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, so does my income, and I don't stress on it. Matter of fact, the higher Bitcoin goes up, the higher my income goes up. So $20,000 Bitcoin makes me feel good. When Bitcoin hits $50,000, it's going to make me feel great. Because guess what? My purchasing power increases. And that's the last thing I'm going to tell you guys about Bitcoin, is that if you don't understand fractional reserve banking and how paper money is devaluing every day, paper money is not worthless, but it is worth less the longer you hold it. $100 today will not buy $100 worth of stuff a year from now. But in Bitcoin, my purchase power fucking quadruples. I love it. Anytime I buy something on a fiat scale, I use Bitcoin. If it's expensive and I'm buying something on a fiat scale, I use Bitcoin, because less Bitcoin comes out of my wallet because it's worth more. So if I'm buying something expensive in paper money, I'm going to use Bitcoin because less Bitcoin comes out of my wallet to pay for that quote-unquote expensive item. And that's the factual side. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Hopefully you will jump into Bitcoin. Hopefully you will change your life. Hopefully you will change your mindset. Hopefully you begin to open some doors.